In Episode 1, we stood before impossible stones, megalithic monuments that shouldn't exist, built with precision we can't replicate, scattered across every continent like pieces of a shattered civilization. Every ancient culture that inherited these structures told the same unsettling story. We didn't build these, they were here before us. Built by the offspring of those who came from above. Here, in Episode 2 of our 5-part series, we'll take a closer look at who they are.
For centuries, theologians have debated these verses. Who were the sons of God? How did their union with human women produce giants? Why does the text assume we already know this story? The answer lies in a book that vanished from the Western world for over 1,000 years.
In 1773, Scottish explorer James Bruce made a discovery that would shake biblical scholarship. In the Ethiopian highlands, he found what the rest of the world had lost: the Book of Enoch, preserved by Ethiopian Jews and Christians who considered it sacred scripture.
You cannot separate, you cannot extract the Enochian tale from the biblical narrative. It is foundational.
This wasn't some medieval fabrication. When the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1947 by a Bedouin shepherd, multiple copies of Enoch were found among them, proving its ancient origin. More startling still, the apostles quoted from it. Jude quotes Enoch verbatim.
Enoch, who lived in the 7th generation after Adam, prophesied about these people.
Peter references events found nowhere else but in Enoch's pages.
For God did not spare even the angels who sinned. He threw them into hell, in gloomy pits of darkness, where they are being held until the day of judgment.
The Book of Enoch reveals what Genesis only hints at. 200 watchers, high-ranking angelic beings, made a deliberate choice. On Mount Hermon, still called the Mountain of the Oath, they swore a pact. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another,
Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men and beget us children.
They knew it was rebellion. They bound themselves with mutual oaths, knowing the consequences would be severe, but desire overcame duty. These weren't demons or fallen spirits. These were the Benai Elohim, the sons of God, members of the divine council who abandoned their posts.
What followed wasn't just interbreeding, it was the systematic corruption of humanity. The Watchers didn't just take wives, they brought forbidden knowledge, weapon-making and warfare, sorcery and enchantments, astrology and divination, cosmetics and seduction. Technologies that humanity wasn't ready to possess. Their offspring, the Nephilim, grew to enormous size and developed an insatiable appetite. Ancient texts describe them devouring everything: crops, livestock, and eventually humans themselves. The earth became a nightmare of violence and corruption.
The flood of Noah's time wasn't arbitrary judgment, it was cosmic chemotherapy. The human genome had been corrupted, the earth itself was defiled. Only Noah's family remained genetically pure, perfect in his generations.
But here's what should terrify us. Genesis 6:4 says the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward. The corruption survived the flood.